Welcome to Bytesize Business. Business English in 10 minutes a day from Thinking English.
Today we are talking about delegation. So let's have a look at the keywords: delegate, delegation, and delegating. Let's consider the root verb to delegate. To entrust a task or responsibility to another person, typically one who is less senior than yourself. The power delegated to him must never be misused. Or it can be used to mean to send or authorize someone to do something as a representative. The company agreed on delegating a VP to meet the new arrivals. Here, delegating is the present participle of the verb to delegate, and it is being used as a gerund. Then we have the noun, delegate, a person sent or authorized to represent others, in particular, a representative sent to a conference. For example, in 1958, I was a delegate to the Atoms for Peace conference in Geneva. We have another noun, delegation. This has two meanings. If we have a group of delegates or representatives, that is called a delegation. For example, a delegation of teachers went to the National Union of Teachers conference. Or delegation can mean the act or process of delegating or being delegated. For example, the delegation of tasks to others. And another example is the art of delegation, and that is what we're talking about today. A couple of particular points to consider though. The first is that although the noun and the verb are written in exactly the same way, they are pronounced differently. The noun is delegate, the verb is delegate. Delegate, delegate. Delegate, delegate. A small but subtle difference, but very important in business English. The last thing that I'd like to say to you is that throughout this video, you will see words highlighted in purple, like delegation at the bottom here. All the words in purple are words that you need to be able to recognize, understand, and use if you want to master business English.
Let's talk about the art of delegation. But first, let's deal with the noun, delegate. That's very simple. If you are a delegate, then you are a representative who has been sent to look after the interests of a company or organisation at some kind of organised business or political event, typically a conference, exhibition, or seminar. There's a difference between delegates and someone who is merely attending such an event, because the delegate has been given the right to represent an organisation and therefore has the authority, within set limits, to make statements and perhaps decisions for that organisation. An example of this might be, I was a delegate at the recent Thinking in English conference in Dubai. That's the simple bit. Let's talk now about the word delegate as a verb, delegate. To delegate is the infinitive. Delegated is the past participle, and delegating is the present participle and gerund. To delegate means to give a task to someone else to complete. The act of doing this is called delegation, which is also a noun. And this is the core thing we have to understand. What we're talking about today is the art of delegation. People talk about the art of delegation very casually, but it truly is an art. Because if you do it well, then it can spell success and recognition. If you do it badly, it can mean total failure. but understanding it and doing it well requires natural talent, as well as training and experience. So why do we delegate? There are 4 words we need to think about: efficiency, time management, development, and therapy. So first we have efficiency. Any good boss and any well-organized company will encourage delegation to the individual with the right skills. The boss could organize a team building event, for example. Hopefully he has the organizational skills for that. But if there is a member of his team who is particularly good at that kind of task, who has done it successfully before, and who enjoys doing it, then a smart boss will give the task to them, giving them a brief outline of the idea and the budget perhaps, and then letting them get on with it. That's delegation for work efficiency. How about time management? Any boss is usually busy. If he or she is not busy, then either they are in the wrong job for the wrong reason, or they have truly mastered the art of delegation. The true skill of being a good manager is filtering out the things which you must do yourself and finding the things which can, and probably should, be done by someone else. Getting other people to do things frees up your time to do the more important things. This is delegation for time management. Development. A good manager is one who has the good of his team at the top of his agenda. Part of any manager's job is to help the individuals on his team to improve, to gain experience, knowledge, and confidence. Indeed, one of his main tasks is to help develop people who will be able to take over his own job so that he himself can move upwards in the organization. A manager can use many different techniques to build his team's abilities. One of the key ways is through delegation. Telling someone that you have confidence that they have the right skills and attitude to complete a difficult task, and then giving them the authority to do it, will either encourage the individual to perform at a higher level, or will show them, and the boss, their limitations and weaknesses. A good boss will use delegation as a test and control mechanism to manage the skills and balance of his team. This is delegation for development. The last word we need to think about is therapy. Many managers, and in particular many bosses, are what we might call control freaks. Someone who has set up a company and personally driven it through the very tough startup phase often finds it very difficult to let things go. He or she has managed everything so far and often thinks that they should still continue to manage absolutely everything. As a business grows, this becomes impossible, and it is dangerous to try, both for the boss and for the business. A good boss will probably know he should delegate, but might still find it very difficult to make it and let it happen. In this case, delegation should be encouraged by his team as a form of therapy. The boss is, however, right in one profound way. You can delegate jobs, but you cannot delegate responsibility. It is up to the manager to make sure a delegated job gets done properly. This is where the art of delegation truly lies. 1. Finding the right person for the task. 2. Giving them the right level of guidance. 3. Outlining limitations and critical factors. 4. Setting an achievable goal and deadline. 5. Leaving them to get on with the task. 6. Being available to supply help, support, and advice. But also 7, being sufficiently hands-off to allow the individual to do it themselves, while being sufficiently hands-on to make sure of successful completion, for which the manager or the boss still retains overall responsibility. Getting all of these things right is actually one of the key attributes of a good boss. The ultimate boss is one who spends maximum time on strategy and minimum time checking the performance of those he has designated to run the business.